Okay, we're about ready to start. Our next team is Pixels, and uh, welcome, Pixels. We're excited to see what you have to say to us today, and we're looking forward to your presentation. So, Isabella, go for it. Are you talking? Maybe you're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, see my screen?
Yes, we can see your
Okay.
screen. You're ready to go. I'm going to
Okay.
start the timer.
Pick up any skincare product, check the ingredients. What do you see? A wall of long words, chemical compounds, and abbreviations that almost no one can read. Ingredients like methylparbon, BHT, and oxybenzone have real documented links to endocrine disruption, formaldehyde release, and hormonal imbalances. They're flagged by the EU and the FDA. But unless you're a cosmetic chemist, you have no idea they're in the product you just bought. Consumers deserve to know what they're putting on their skin. And right now, there's no fast, free, and accessible way to find out. My app is LabelWise, a Chrome extension that lives in a panel beside any web page. All you have to do is copy an ingredient list and paste it in. The moment you hit Analyze, every ingredient is scanned against a database of over 60 flagged substances, cross referenced by common name, scientific name, and abbreviation. Ingredients flagged as avoid come back in red, caution ingredients in amber, and anything not in our warning database is listed as safe. Real product labels use formats with Latin names, parenthetical common names when listing ingredients. LabelWise strips all of that away before matching, then shows you the original text exactly as appeared on the label. At the top, you get an instant count, how many ingredients to avoid, how many to watch, and how many are unlisted. Click any flagged ingredient and you see exactly why it's flagged, helping make an informed decision every time. I chose a Chrome extension specifically because ingredient research happens on a product pages while shopping. A Chrome extension with a side panel means LabelWise is one click away, without leaving the page you're on. No tab switching, no copying the URL somewhere else. The tool appears right next to you at the product at the moment you need it. And unlike a website or an app, it requires zero account creation, zero data submission, and works completely offline once installed. Your ingredient data never leaves your browser. Apps like Think Dirty and EWG Skin Deep, and they're all useful, but they all require you to search product by product, which means if a product has to be already in their database. New products, small brands, handmade items, not there. LabelWise works on any ingredient list from anywhere at any time because you upload the ingredients. There's no database of products to maintain. Paste any list and get an answer in under a second. It works on any product, making it the fastest scaling solution. Thank you.
Great job, Isabella. If you want to take your slides down, and we will open the floor for questioning.
Okay.
Great job, Isabella. And I was really impressed with your project. I think you tackled a really important and complex problem, and you did so in both like a social way and a really technically advanced way. And so my question to you is, thinking about all the technical challenges you had when learning about and building this app and the advanced coding. What's the most technical challenge that you're like most proud of, and like what did it teach you as a developer?
One of the hardest parts of creating this Chrome extension was learning how to clean the data because I needed to figure out the parenthetical common names and make sure that the database still recognizes that like it's the same ingredient.
Thank you.
Isabella,
say you have,
oh, go ahead.
okay, yeah. I would say you have done a very wonderful job and you explain your project very well, clearly, and it was very easy to follow along in your videos as well. And I'm curious, like, what inspired you to create this app label-wise?
A couple of years ago, I made an app called Enviro, which focused on scanning products and seeing if there was microplastics in your product, like clothing, laundry detergents, and cosmetics. And I want to take that a step further. And now I'm recognizing ingredients that are cautioned or have research behind them that states that they're like bad for you. And that's really what inspired my app, just to help people recognize how their products um, are leading are bad.
Sure. Nice. And if you could improve label-wise next, like what feature would you add? Like new feature would you add to your app?
I would add a feature where people could recommend different ingredients that they found were bad. And I would also add more ingredients to my database just to make sure it's more accurate and has more ingredients.
Sure. Thank you.
Isabella, I think you should be very proud of yourself. This was very well done. I had children in college and they probably couldn't do a pitch as well as that was. So you should be proud. Um, and my question to you is this available on the App Store or anything, or is this just still in concept? Because I think this could help a lot of people.
Yeah,
So
so it's
go
yeah,
ahead.
so it is a Chrome extension. It's not yet on the Apple Store yet, though, but it's definitely like a thought because I think that my idea has real potential, and I want to keep on improving it.
And then my other question is, are how did you get interested in the science and the what goes, into products that aren't healthy for people?
I think it all started a couple years ago when I created my other app, and that really where I focused on scanning barcodes to see if they had microplastics in them, and that was like what really got me into this topic and labels and why ingredients are bad for you. And I just wanted to keep on researching that and create different solutions.
Great work.
I can wait, I can go
Oh,
next.
okay, got it. I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
All right, so I just wanted to see that I think your app is really awesome. I think it makes people feel good about themselves and their purchasing decisions. It's well done. Very nice use of white space within the app. It's very clean, very sophisticated. And I haven't seen anything like this on the market. I know a few apps and such, but none like yours where it's an actual Chrome extension and you can see it side by side when you're shopping online. And yeah, I also sort of had the question whether you see yourself publishing this on an app store or somewhere eventually. So sort of what other people were asking about.
Yeah, definitely, because I think that it's really useful to know what you're putting on your skin and so that like you have better health because it's also for like how you keep track of your health.
Yeah.
And some of these ingredients are insanely bad, and you wouldn't know that because you don't have something that tells you and otherwise you have to research. And that's why I thought a Chrome extension was going to be the best because it kind of lives in a side panel. So you can have it at any time and it's easier for online shopping.
Awesome.
Well, just great job. You can tell that you really thought through all the nuances, things like you don't need to sign in for an account. It's a Chrome extension. and you can just copy and paste in one spot. So great job really thinking through a solution that solves a problem a lot of us are starting to face. The question I have is, where did you get the list of chemicals that should be flagged, and how would you keep that up to date? Is there a possibility that there's a chemical that is not in your database that might be dangerous?
Yeah, so we have 60 flagged substances of right now, and I definitely want to expand the database. But my research, I went through PubMed and Google Scholar, and that's where I found, and I also researched like a lot just to find why the ingredients are bad and what research is behind them.
Great. Just excellent pitch. Thank you.
Did everyone get a chance to give feedback? Well, great job. All I can tell you, Isabella, is that this is a hot topic. I read more and more articles. I've sent you a couple of them, actually. I read more and more articles about microplastics and the impact on the environment and our personal life. So great job. And I hope you do this, keep this going and move it forward and make some money off of it too. So anyway, I want to thank you. I want to thank the judges because this was your last team. And our next pitch will begin in 4 minutes, and it will be the senior group, senior teams. So thank you again, all of you, the judges. Thank you, Isabella. And we will be back in 4 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. For those on the live stream, thank you for attending. I think at the beginning of the live stream, we did not have it live streaming. So I apologize for that if anybody's still on from that time. I do want to remind you that we do have a big event tomorrow at the Great Hall at Silverwood Park. It's from 2:30 to 5:30, 2:30 to 4:30. We'll have lots of entertainment, like a photo booth and food trucks and henna, face painting, bingo, and then from 4:30 to 5:30, we will have our award ceremony. So, and we have another Code Savvy event coming up on June 27th at the Zanewood Recreation Center from 9 to 3:30. It's a hackathon for good, and you can find the registration on our website. So we will take a 2-minute break. And welcome to the judges who just came on, and we'll get started in 2 minutes. I don't think I see the team yet, but maybe I do.
I believe we have the team member here. Is that under Kumar?
Yeah, sorry, that's my dad's name.
Oh,
My
okay.
name's Fifi. It should be under Smart Manual.
Okay, we'll get started in a couple of minutes, or 1 minute, no, 2 minutes now. So hang in there, and Heath, you may want to put your slides up on the share your slides so we can get started right on time in a minute.
Okay. Hi, so I currently don't have a PowerPoint presentation ready. I thought that that was going to be provided by you guys.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can, we can go without a slide deck. That's fine. It wasn't a requirement anyway. So,
Okay.
so we'll get started here and right now, if you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to time it. You have 4 minutes. So
4 minutes to
I'll,
do the entire thing.
yeah. Okay. I'll let you know when
Um,
you have your time's getting close. Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name is Sahiti, and let's start off with a little experiment. So, I want you to think about the last time that you actually used a manual, whether that was last week, last year, or maybe it was like 9 p.m. on a Tuesday and you're like sitting with a 32-page booklet and you're reading it in like a font-sized 4 and you're trying to understand everything, but it's so late at night. And you're thinking to yourself, like, oh my God, how did I end up in this situation? So that's exactly why I created Smart Manual. So, this actually started all at my grandparents' house, and they kept on asking me for help with manuals and everything like that. So, I would go there and I would help them, and I'd open a manual page and I'd get more lost than them. And it's like my grandparents, they don't need an engineering degree or something to actually understand a manual. They need like one simple, clear answer. And so I wanted to provide that for them. That's why I created this. So Smart Manual is actually it's an AI mobile assistant that transforms traditional manuals into like dynamic conversational assistants. So basically what you do is you first ask a question like, why is this blinking red? Or how do I reset my device? And basically it scans your information, it scans the manual and the documents you provide, and then it gives you back the information you need in the language that you provide. And I think that um, that's taken for granted in like this day and age in technology about like multilingual textual support, because you don't have to just be a native English speaker to actually understand what's going on. Sometimes like elders, people with visual impairments, and like non-native speakers, as well as like if you're actually doing something and designing something, your hands are most likely full. So in order to help all of these people and make it more accessible for everyone, we have Smart Manual is also a multilingual and more accessible platform. Getting into the technology of it, I built it using React Native and Microsoft Azure Blob Storage. And basically, let me take you through like what a user would actually do if they go into my manual. So basically, it would take them to the front page, and then they would either have to ask a question or upload a manual. And when they're asking or when they're uploading a manual, they have 3 different things that they can go through. They can either type it, um, they can upload like a file, or they can scan a QR code. And then this all takes them to an ask a questions page. And then in the ask page, you're basically provided with, like, first you would have to select the document that you selected. And then you would, and then after you do that, you would either type your question out or you would say it out loud. And my manual has over like 100 different languages that you can respond to. So if I like ask a question in French, the manual will understand and read everything and respond back to you in French, whether you type in French or you say it in French. And I think that's like the biggest difference between me and my competitors today. Today, things like static PDFs, they're not searchable and they're not accessible. And other basic keyword um, applications don't really give you, they're not really interactive and they don't really give you well, yeah, they're not accessible and they're not interactive and they don't give you actual like textual things that you might need. And I think my biggest competitor is like other AI applications like ChatGPT, Copilot, Google, and YouTube. And all of these, they're not really specified to like your specific problem. And it's more like of a generative, like overall answer to what you need. So for example, in Google, if I go and type up like, why is my washing machine not working? It'll give you like 40 different brands. But if you want to know why your washing machine isn't working, I feel like Smart Manual is so much better at addressing your problem individually. Um, so yeah, I also used I also conducted a survey to make sure it wasn't just like a me problem, that it was like a widespread problem. So 84.6% of people in my survey were like, they completely lost their manual after the first time, they threw it away. And then 92.5% were like, okay, yeah, I used it, but like, I don't really get what I was doing, and it was all way too complicated. And so through testing and feedback, I improved my own SMART manual to make sure that my answers were more concise and I had faster reactions and like faster responses to their questions by simplifying the interface and helping them better use my application as well.
Okay, Sabina, you'll need to wrap up now.
Okay.
Sahifa.
So I also used AI. In today's day and age, I used AI. I used GitHub Copilot, and yes, it did help me generate the code, but I had to go back and review it, modify it, and then debug it as well. So even though AI did give me a little bit of a push, I had to pave my way and make what Smart Manual is today by myself through my own hard work. So yeah. In conclusion, it saves time, it reduces your frustration, and then it also helps support um, global e-waste by making it more accessible for everyone to use. Thank you.
Great job. Judges, questions?
Yes, Menica?
Yeah, first of all, really good work on end-to-end thinking through a solution, coming up with a problem, thinking through a solution, and evaluating all the different use cases. The biggest highlight for me was the accessibility piece, right? So that is pretty cool. So again, really great work. And I think you've also done the part that I was, again, I'm from a data analytics perspective. So I thought you did a really good job from a survey, getting some feedback, and you looking at the data and kind of fine tuning and all that, right? So first of all, again, fantastic job. Kudos to you for doing all this
Thank you
amazing
so much.
work.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I do have a couple questions, Sabrina. So, like from a metric standpoint, did
Mhm.
you evaluate what is the accuracy? Because it's AI-based solution, right?
Yeah.
So, did you evaluate what is the accuracy of your AI algorithm or the model that you have built?
Yes, so throughout my developmental process, every single time I would have to go back, review, and then debug everything that's been going on. So I wasn't just blindly trusting AI and blindly letting it like guide me throughout the process. I had to go back by myself and then review it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was more curious, is it like like for example, you upload a PDF document of the manual, right? So you're running through your code and you're evaluating, okay, it's translating it into simple, easy to understand instructions. So the model itself, is it like a 40% accuracy rate, 80% accuracy rate? Have you measured that? Do you,
Um,
or
so
it can be an enhancement? You're just curious, yeah.
so I think it's um like for example, ChatGPT, it's really based off of kind of like that, and it's modified based off of ChatGPT, I feel like. So, of course, it's not like 100% accurate, and it's as accurate as you give it, but it does enhance whatever information that you supply it with.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Appreciate it. The one other question I have, then I'll pass it on to the other judges. I would say I was wondering about especially the AI. Again, this is an AI-based solution, right? So I was
Mhm.
curious if you have thought about like privacy and things like that. If the, let's say, a user comes in, right? So different manuals, most of it, if it's just like a washing machine or a microwave, that's fine. But
Mhm.
then if you're looking at a medical device manual or something else, right? So that's a different complexity, right? So just wondering if you've thought through some of those too.
So yeah, privacy, I definitely think is not just an issue in my own manual. In different like platforms as well, privacy is a really big issue. And I address it in my manual by like in my app, everything is stored on the cloud. So you upload a document, you upload a manual, this is all personalized to you, and then and then my app takes that and then stores it to your cloud. So
That's awesome. No,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Really good job. I just think that's enhancement, thinking about the accuracy. And also you talk about the ChatGPT and the co-pilots and the clouds and all that out there today, right? So
Yes.
maybe being more explicit about how your solution is different than what's out there, right? Both from a technical and from a usability standpoint would be, I think, a great next step. So again, great job.
Thank you. Um, San,
I,
San, or sorry, yeah,
Actually, I'd like to defer to Matthew. Matthew raised his hand earlier.
okay.
oh, sure. Okay. Thank you very much. Sahita, I believe. I
Yeah.
wanted to say I was very impressed at the start of your presentation where you told that personal story. The reason why you connected it, it really is it's representing well for entrepreneurship and it was a very wonderful testimonial and made us think about what our role is with this product. And also, I was interested. I think I heard you say that your app can look at maybe what I'm trying to build or troubleshoot and connect that to the information in the manual. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is.
Oh wow. Okay. And I think I was also wondering how well maybe perhaps with precision and recall
Mhm.
how well does it find the information in the manual that you're looking for?
Um, so so when you upload it, it takes so if, for example, you upload a photo, it takes that photo, it assesses what's going on, it assesses the problem, and when you ask a question, it'll respond back to you with like evaluating your picture or your photo, and then it'll give it back to you. I've tested it out a couple of times. It has worked like 90% of the time, but it really again does depend on like the quality of your photo, or if you're going to ask it a question, like you'd kind of have to slow down and speak, especially if you're speaking like a different language. I've tested it in Telugu as well. And so Telugu is a language I speak at home. So when I'm testing it, I'd have to like slow down and speak. And it's accurate most of the time.
Excellent. That's very good to hear. 90% is spectacular accuracy. And that was the other piece that really spoke to me, the implementation of voice, and 100 languages. How many voices, different voices like audio tracks does the app support at this point?
I'm pretty sure at this point, so I use TTS API. So I'm pretty sure it supports German, French. I'm pretty sure it supports Spanish, of course, English, and then Telugu as well. But it can support as many other. I just haven't tested them yet.
Okay. And so my final question is, if you
Mhm.
wanted to implement a new voice, a new audio track, a new speaking voice for your app, how
Yeah.
would you go about doing that?
So I think I would definitely I'd so I would go to um React or whatever, and then I would like put in my question, and then I think what I mostly did throughout the process is whatever like questions or like whatever things that I wanted to change in my app, I would go to the AI function bot and I would put it in, and then I would get the code that it generated, and then I would have to review it and then plug it back into my code and then see how it would work. And it was like a constant testing process. So that's how I would do that.
Excellent. Yeah, it sounds a lot like what I do when I'm working in the same space. So thank you very much. Great presentation. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I'm going to give the other people time, but we only have a couple of minutes. So if you can uh, give your feedback and ask your question really quickly and answer that really quickly, that would be great. I
Mhm.
think, Sonia, you're next.
Sure. Um, Amazing idea, great presentation, excellent pitch. I re plus one to what the other folks have said so far. Um, have you considered, an effort to control costs? I love how you've done this. But looking at any local AI technologies, newer devices, you can get a lot done, and PDFs are quite readable by these devices. Did you explore that at all during your exploration here?
Yes, so for the cost factor, I'm a student, so I have a student subscription in the Microsoft Azure storage database or whatever. So every single time I have to upload a document, if I upload too much, I'd have to pay a subscription like price, or I'd have to pay a price. So right now it's currently set if I submit or like if I put in one document, I'm able to get in 5 questions. And I think over like down the road, if you want to like submit more documents, I have like for per monthly $2 and then per year like $20 or just something along those lines of like in the future how I'm going to manage the cost if users keep uploading more documents.
All right. Thank you
Right.
so much.
Yeah.
Tyler, you had a question?
Yeah, really well done. The only thing I was just looking at it was the idea that people are using their products for longer. I remember we would just throw things out because we couldn't get them to work. I think that's hyper useful. From a profitability perspective, I think that it might be worth considering selling it to directly the companies that are supplying the manuals.
Yeah.
Um, because
I
for me to search out the individual manual and then upload it myself and whatnot. But if you're able to fine tune a model with, 90% accuracy and then sell it to a company that provides the model, because then they're paying for, the background, if you will. That's just my 2 cents, but I
No,
don't have any
I
questions because we're
completely
over time.
agree, actually. I think companies like they spend so much resources like with translators and like their legal team and like
Yep.
all these technical writers and everything, and they're spending so much time and effort just for that to like get thrown away. I think definitely like down the line, if I find a company or like I'll pitch it to them and I'll see what they have to say because right now everything on the market is so like it's not as specific as my manual is. And I think that if companies start marketing this type of product more, then I feel like it'd be really like sustainable for the future. It'll help to support sustainability.
Yep, absolutely. Well done.
Thank you.
Sabia?
Hi, so I know we're over time. This is a great pitch. I love your confidence. It was just fantastic. Great video. It's just such a treat to be judging this and to, such an honor. Very impressive. I think it's a great idea. I've come up with this problem a million times, just like getting that flat packed furniture, and it's just the worst, And even then, and you're sitting there looking at YouTube and trying to get those videos up, and it's painful. So it's a great idea. And the fact that you don't actually have any competitors and your competitor is ChatGPT and YouTube, I think that's great too. So you don't have, a direct competitor. Just as a progression or an extension, maybe, I don't know how you would do this, but like incorporate some of that, like that YouTube video, a link to something like, these,
Yeah.
just how Wikipedia does it at the end, like, if you want more information or whatever, this is, some other links to those external sites. And the only other thing that I would have liked to see is a sort of an end-to-end user interface, sort of start to finish. I don't think I saw that on the pitch, like all the screens that a person would go to.
I have it like with me right now. Would you like to see?
It would be great, but and you're very excited, but your time is up.
Okay.
So
Fine.
No, I trust you have it. It's just
Yeah.
it would have been nice to see that on the pitch video or the technical video.
I can
Yeah.
show like the dashboard. But yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sahitha, you can leave the room and we will let the next group in.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. You have, is everybody on your team here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So do you have some slides you want to share?
Yeah, I can share them.
Okay, and then we'll get started.
Awesome.
Just let me know. You have 4 minutes for your pitch, as you hopefully know, and we will get started. I want to introduce the next team, which is Team TARAS. I believe that's their initials, but they can maybe explain that. Anyway, take it away, Team Taras.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys. We are Team Tara's and we made the app Safe Haven.
My name's Tvisha.
I'm Anushka.
I'm Riha.
We have a teammate, Afomia, but she's not here today, and my name is Shreya. So basically, the big problem that we are trying to solve is the issue of navigating cities that aren't very familiar to us and having a complete understanding of everything that's happening. And that's really poses a big safety threat, particularly to young women. So that's what our app is aiming to solve.
So when users open the app, they're able to see the top 3 locations that they choose to favorite, and there are easy to read safety ratings at a glance just based on the color. Additionally, there is a spotlight of any recent relevant headlines for safety specifically, so maybe a citywide mandate. And there's also a searchability option where users can type in a new city to the search bar and then view its stats from there. So when users click on a city, they're able to see the monthly breakdown of the overall safety score that we give them, and it highlights problem periods. And we also show any safety tips for navigating each city that is curated towards that specific city. We also show the top 3 relevant news headlines to be aware of any problem areas or any new safety rules that might have emerged. And finally, we have a counter for any recent incidents, so maybe theft or break-ins. And so this data is pulled from both the headlines and also Crime API.
We also have a safety heat map, which displays a map of the city the user chooses and also includes different safe and unsafe hotspots in the area, as well as a key. There's also a summary of recent incident reports at the top of the map. The app also includes an area and a form entry where users can report any unpleasant or unsafe experiences they have that have specific entry points, so the information is as helpful as possible for other users to see. Our app also includes a screen with an SOS button, which upon pressing will sound a really loud alarm to alert nearby people and will also promptly alert the authorities so help will be on the way.
We target our app specifically towards college students, travelers, and individuals in unfamiliar areas, specifically women, since 1 in 3 women have experienced violence. To gain feedback for our app, we consulted with professionals, peers, and our personal contacts and implemented their feedback. When gaining data on who would use our app, we sent out a survey to college students across multiple campuses and found that majority had encountered crime and had safety concerns and had a lack of information on crime near them. So when asked if they would use our app, 96.6% of these college students said they would. When comparing Safe Haven to our competitors, we found that Safe Haven incorporates many unique features such as global crime heat map, AI safety summaries, user incident reporting, and more that other apps such as Be Safe and Life 360 don't. We are also a nonprofit mission built by women for women and are an affordable alternative as compared to our competitors.
Throughout our learning journey, one main challenge that we faced was that many of our teammates were unfamiliar with Dart/Flutter, which is the language that we used. While it did have a steep learning curve, we were able to get over it by using online resources such as articles and YouTube videos to make sure that Safe Haven became the app that it is today. Additionally, we also found that there were a lack of free datasets and or crime APIs that we could reference and embed within our app. So it took us a while to settle on one that we wanted to use. For the future, we want to have every city's safety information across the world and also embed AI to calculate the safety scores and update them over time.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We would love to give a special shout out to our mentors, Anne and Alicia, and we are so grateful to Technovation Minnesota. So let us know if you have any questions.
Great job, team. The judges are excited to get started and asking you some questions. So take it away, judges. Just jump on in, one of you.
All right, I can go. Really good job, team. Again, I'm not going to call each one of you, but overall, I think you guys have done a really fantastic job. I think it's an important safety concern and a problem, right? That you guys are tackling. It's a community impact solution, right? So that I thought was really well done. And to me, the biggest positive was how much time and resource, like energy of resources you have explored on your competitive, what is already out there, right? So I thought you guys did a really good job in documenting that even in your technical like pitch videos and also in your overall business canvas and everything else. So and even today, right? So I think that's really great. I had a couple again technical documentation was also fantastic. Your code seems very structured and thought through with some best practices, everything embedded in it. So again, really great job. I did have one question on the data sets. I'm a data person. I'm a data analytics background. So the data sets you did call out even today about you had challenges in retrieving data sets and the crime APIs. So how did you tackle that if you can help me understand?
Yeah, so as we're navigating various crime APIs, we realized that a lot of them had huge financial barriers for us, and we tried to reach out to the owners of these APIs and see if they'd be willing to maybe allow us to have free access because we're students, and we didn't really get much responses. So we had to find alternative data sources. So we found out that the FBI and also the local police force um, uh, had a huge data set of various crimes that happen in the area. And as for the API that we used for the map, we decided to go with a free API that was provided by Flutter, which is the kind of code base that we use to create our app. And so instead of, just having one cohesive crime API, we had to kind of find other cheaper alternatives to replace it with,
Right.
which was a little bit more complicated, but it was more accessible.
That's fantastic. Just was curious about it. One other quick question, and I'll pass it on to the other judges. Is did you like again from a back-end architecture? That's the part I didn't see enough from a technical standpoint. So how was the data flows happening, and how are you tackling it? And also, again, because this is a safety app, right? So I'm thinking with the user logins and all that, right? So how are you making sure the data is secure, even from a user privacy constraint standpoint?
Um, all the data that's publicly available for users from the app are they are gotten directly from the API. So it just counts up the number of incidents per in a specific area. As for user data privacy, I think a big thing that we tried to implement was ensuring that none of the data could be tied towards a specific entry point or a specific person who entered in the data. So all for our the form that we had that has a lot of the user data, and it pulls a lot from the user experience. And so for that specifically, we didn't have any information that tied to a specific individual to try to make it as safe as possible, even if other users were, trying to look at those entry points.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question, I think again, really good job thinking through that. The reason I think that is critical is also because this is a safety app, right? So it can also, like as a user, if I'm using the solution, right? So it can also track wherever I'm going, right? Where are the locations I'm looking up, right? So things like that. So again, if somebody is trying to hack into your system, they also have that information, right? So that's kind of the thought, like thinking about the downstream impacts, right? So again, overall, really great work, team. Keep it up.
So
Next
I'm just
question.
gonna pop in here. So looking at it, really well done. The canvas was very detailed, which I really enjoyed. And also the map I think was unique. Being on a college campus, I know that things go on, and we would just get an alert on our phones that it wasn't very descript, but told us kind of issues that were going on. I noticed a change that you went from $7.99 to $2 a month in the charge in your presentation from the Canvas um, to the presentation. Was there a reason for that?
I think that might be an error, but I also think the chart was trying to convey a price for another app. It might have been placed wrong, but I think it was trying to convey a price for another app because ours is around $7.99 because we do provide more features than other apps. So we thought that'd be a more, I guess, realistic price to upkeep our features.
Yeah, no trouble. Sorry. Maybe I misunderstood then. Um, the only thing I might note as a point of contention, perhaps, is college students inherently are very risk loving. And generally speaking, I was an RA for many years and saw some perhaps the social practices that, students engaged in, and they're also broke. So, from that perspective, um, I was just thinking about, perhaps who would use it and, moving students perhaps to a new location. I think that that would be far better than, individuals that are perhaps familiar with the locations that they frequent instead of, people that don't know where they are. So like traveling women, is just a point to perhaps consider. But other than that, really well done.
Okay, we have three more judges that probably want to hop in here. If you could make it pretty quick, because we're kind of lucky that the next team is not available to present, but we have about a couple of minutes. So,
Sure, I
Sonia?
can jump in.
Oh, Matthew, good. Go ahead.
Okay. I will ask my question and just say this was a wonderfully polished presentation. You have a close knowledge of the technology you're building, and I kind of wanted to take a little bit deeper look on the features. As for features, I saw things like headlines and Crime API feeding into your statistics. I also saw that you mentioned an SOS alarm, and I believe that is to be developed. It's not quite finished yet. And then there's also a managing emergency where you can kind of report an emergency, among other things like the crime map. How did you think about the top priority features as you were building this?
So, many of us on our team are going into college next year, and we wanted to consider, we were always hearing, especially from a lot of us are close to like the U of M, we were hearing about recent crimes that were happening at the U of M campus. And so we were thinking about ways that maybe women specifically or like college students in general could be kept safer. So the SOS button is a good way for in case if like a robbery is happening to an individual, they're able to alert everybody around them. And so that way they're able to get more help than just trying to fend off somebody on their own. And then in case if there was an incident that was maybe not reported by the police yet, but a student noticed it, then they can also report that within our app. So that way users are still able to almost connect with each other and then continue to not only just build a sense of community, but also a community that's like built on safety when the police can't necessarily interact right away.
Great. Thank you very much.
Sonia?
Yeah, again, excellent or amazing presentation. Really appreciated not just today, but also the video. I was curious, did you explore maybe not just the stuff that could be scary, but maybe things that could be really helpful? Like there are some marginalized communities that find it really difficult to find a safe bathroom. And so, what did that sort of feature end up on your radar, or was it? Did you explore anything like user contributed good things?
I think that would be like a really good idea or something that we could like implement in like maybe like a sister app or something. Um, and I think that's kind of like the same like the vision that like we want to go for, where it's like we are keeping our community safe and it's like for specific communities. So yeah, I think that would be a really cool like sister app to make.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Sabia?
Hi, yeah, great pitch. Very great idea. I love it. It's very relevant to me. I've just started traveling alone myself, so like where to go and stuff. So I just really I see myself needing this information. And even like with my parents, like as an immigrant, like, they don't know Chicago has these areas to avoid or LA or so. Yeah, it's just really, really great. I saw the technical looks great. The only other suggestion I had was that as an extension, maybe consider like I don't even know if that you would want to go to this route, but like make it a lifestyle, could make it a lifestyle app in terms of like Sonia mentioned, like right now it's like city and what's dangerous, but maybe I don't know what to see and make it sort of like a touristy thing. Like, what do people wear? Like maybe if you go to a sort of a conservative, like when this goes global, if you go to a conservative place, what to avoid wearing or what the cultural practices are and things like that. So just, in the future, version 2.0.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea.
So excuse me, great job, team. We appreciate your effort, and it all looked like a very good app. And I think I might go explore it myself. Uh, and thank you to the judges. We really appreciate your time and effort to help these young women shine and have a place to think about, things to think about in the future. So, judges, if you have any changes to the scores, you can go back in and do that by 2 p.m. today. And thank you all, and we'll let all of you go from the room. So
Thank you so much.
thank you,
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much. Have a great
Thank
day.
you,
Thank
Jean.
you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And for those on the live stream, we have a bit of a break. One of the teams notified me that they would not be able to be here. We will be letting in the judges who are waiting. But thank you, and we'll be back at let's see, 11 p.m. Just so you know, we have a big event tomorrow at the Great Hall at Silverwood Park from 2:30 to 5:30, 2:30 to 4:30. We have lots of entertainment, photo booth, DJ, Yum Yum food truck, henna, face painting, bingo, tech playground, and outdoor activities. And then from 4:30 to 5:30, we have an awards ceremony. And don't forget, we have an Innovate for Good hackathon at the Zanewood Recreation Center in Brooklyn Park on June 27th from 9 to 3:30, a great opportunity for kids to learn how to build something for good. Registration you can find on the Code Savvy website. And we'll take a few minutes to for a break. And thank you, judges, for coming in. The first team was not able to attend today. So your first team will be up at 11 o'clock. So we'll just hang tight here while we wait for the next team. We will start at pretty much exactly 11 o'clock. So we have 10 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. So glad you're all here. We have 1 minute to go. I think team, I forget what team's up next, the Hackavists. If you would like to put your slides up, share your slides, and we can get started in another few seconds. I will have a timer going. You have 4 minutes for your presentation, and then judges, you have 4 minutes to ask your questions. And I need to put this on so that I can hear better.
All right, that sounds perfect. I'll share my screen.
Great.
Can you see my screen?
It's loading. Now we can see your screen.
Okay. Would you like me to turn off my camera so maybe
No,
it'll like stop? Okay.
you're good. We like to see your face.
All right, perfect.
You can get started.
Okay. Hello, I'm Vivagna,
And I'm Madhya.
and we are the creators of NutriSnap. Nutrition labels are often complex and difficult to understand, making important health information hard to access.
When people misinterpret what they're eating, it can lead to serious health risks, especially for those with dietary restrictions, allergies, or medical conditions.
Around 70% of grocery shoppers report feeling confused by nutrition labels.
And 40% don't fully read ingredient lists because they're too complex or time consuming.
At the same time, over 100 million Americans live with chronic diseases linked to poor nutrition.
This makes accessible and personalized nutrition information more important than ever.
NutriSnap is an AI-powered app that helps users quickly understand whether a food product is healthy for them personally.
By scanning the product, users receive personalized health ratings, allergen alerts, tailored feedback, and healthier alternatives based on their dietary needs and health goals.
In the setup, users personalize NutriSnap by selecting their preferred dietary restrictions, allergies, and health goals.
These preferences are securely stored in Firebase and used to generate personalized recommendations tailored to each individual user.
When a user scans a product label or barcode, NutriSnap retrieves nutrition and ingredient data from the Open Food Facts API.
That data is then combined with the user's dietary profile stored in our Firebase.
Our AI model, running through a Google Cloud function, analyzes the information in real time to generate personalized ratings, allergen warnings, tailored feedback, and healthier alternatives.
The homepage also includes rotating health tips to encourage healthier habits and improve nutritional awareness.
Users can also see favorite foods, organize grocery items, and keep track of healthier shopping choices through the grocery list feature.
This helps make future shopping faster, easier, and more personalized.
In the settings screen, users can update dietary preferences and health goals at any time.
This allows NutriSnap's recommendations to continuously adapt to each user's needs.
Our user testing showed strong positive feedback.
95% of respondents said they would use NutriSnap in the future, 85% said they would recommend it to others, and 87% found the app intuitive and user-friendly.
Our competitors include apps like Yuka, Fujike, and MyFitnessPal.
While these apps offer features such as food logging or product alternatives, none combine personalized ratings, healthier alternatives, food tracking, and goal-based recommendations together.
NutriSnap brings all of these features into one personalized platform.
In the future, we hope to add scanned item history, advanced image-based food scanning, and expanded AI capabilities.
Also plan to partner with grocery stores and health organizations while continuing to improve the app through larger scale user testing and feedback.
NutriSnap. Scan it before you snack it.
Thank you so much for listening to our presentation on NutriSnap.
Thank you.
Great work, team. If you would like to take down your screen, and we will put up the gallery, and it's up to the judges now. Questions or feedback for the hackavists? Excuse me.
Yes, I'd like to start. I think that this app definitely meets a need, but I wanted to give you some real some props because you did such a good job including user feedback in your improvements. I loved that you documented that so well. I also loved that you put security into your application immediately right away by giving somebody a username and a password so that all of their information would be secure and it would be just for them. That was brilliant. I mean, security is so important, and I really wanted to give you props for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you guys did such a great job. Congratulations. I did have a question. What was the most challenging part of building NutriSnap, and what did you learn from it?
For me, the most challenging part was definitely the settings page because originally we didn't know how to take the information from Firebase and then put it onto the settings page and let the users see what they selected. But after some time, we did figure it out. So that was for me the most challenging part. What about you, Bavagna?
So for me, yeah, adding on to that. So for example, this is our first time actually using Google Cloud Functions in one of our projects. So yeah, we had to like learn how to use Google Cloud Functions and like how they work and like the whole entire system from scratch. And I would say that was kind of challenging for me. And also like connecting the AI and like writing a specific prompt like with the context of like the user details and like the product details from like as the from the food Open Food Facts API, as I mentioned before. That's the database that we're using. Yeah, that was kind of challenging, but like, yeah, it was a huge learning curve. I would say this is like one of our most like complex projects yet. And I've also learned the most from this one so far.
Thank you.
I can go next. So I really like the personalization aspect of the project. And my question is, you had alternatives as one of the personalization that you're providing. Can you give us an example of how that feature operates?
Sure. So, for example, if I scanned like peanut butter, but I had like a low sugar, like I selected low sugar during like the sign up process. So it would give me like, but like the product that I scanned had like high sugar, then it would give me like a couple of alternatives that matched my personal dietary goals and restrictions. For example, like peanut butters with low sugar, or like maybe sunflower butter has low sugar. So, like, probably like specific brands that match my personal health goals.
I see. Thank you.
I just want to say huge props on this. It really shows the hard work that you guys put into this app, and the presentation is incredible. You guys are so professional. I'm blown away, honestly. So your hard work really paid off here. Amazing work. I'm curious about, looking forward to the future with all the features. How did you guys, having so much that this app could potentially do, how did you guys narrow in on the initial personalization features that you chose, so like vegetarian as an option or like the health options? How did you guys come up with that initial scope of the project?
So originally we had a lot of options of what we could do. So then originally diabetes management was actually one of our options, but we thought, you know what, we should make this simpler. A lot of people would probably want these specific options. So based on that, we narrowed it down, or we narrowed our list down, and we picked just like four main options for our dietary goals and then their restrictions.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, I guess I can go next. I really think this app is great. It's something I could see myself using. And so I love all the thoughtfulness that went into it, the easeability, and then also, you know, there's all these apps out there that do something similar, but not with the robustness that yours does. Like you mentioned, MyFitnessPal and things like that. So it's nice to have like a one place to go. You had mentioned some future enhancements or features, and I can't remember all of them because they're not in front of me, but how do you envision scaling your app with the technologies that you've used um, to encompass those features? Do you see any challenges scaling up to include those features? Just talk a little bit more about those future enhancements.
So, as I mentioned on the slide, we were planning on like adding a scanned item history, so like a log of items that you had already scanned. Um, and like also image based food scanning. That was like one of the most popular suggestions that we got from our survey results. Like a lot of people suggested that we add like image based food scanning. For example, when you go to a restaurant, like you can take a picture of your food and then it tells you it matches the food to like your dietary restrictions and like tells you if it's good for you or not. And yeah, I do understand what you're saying with like the large with scaling it up, like if we get like a larger user base. And yeah, I think like some of the things that we're using right now, like Google Cloud Functions, I think you would have to like pay to I think like save or like get more AI prompts. I mean AI responses. I think so. Yeah, that would be one of the challenges that we would have to think about in the future as we get like a larger user base.
Great, thank you.
You're on mute, Jean, if you're speaking.
Um, that's why I try not to put it on mute because I forget. Anyway, thank you, the hackathons, and you can leave the room now, and we'll move on to the next team. Very, very good job, and we hope to see you at Code Savvy Celebrates tomorrow. The event is tomorrow from 2:30 to 5:30. Lots of activities from 2:30 to 4:30, and then the awards ceremony 4:30 to 5:30. And don't forget, we have an Innovate for Good hackathon on June 27th, which you can find out more about on our website. So team, you can leave and we'll let the next team in another 3 minutes. So we have a 3-minute little break for everybody, and then we'll be back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hello. Jean mentioned we'll get started in a couple of minutes, just so you know.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, the first team that's been together. Everybody else has been separate. So this will be a treat for all of us to see everybody on the screen at once. But just in case there's some live streaming people that want to get on and see you, we'll wait another 1 minute so that they have time to get on the screen. So
For sure.
get on
Sounds
the
good.
stream.
Yeah. Okay.
So You will have 4 minutes to do your pitch, and the judges will then have about 4 minutes to ask questions. I've been pretty liberal, so don't worry too much. But if you get a little too long, I will warn you that you need to wrap up. So.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay. We will get started. So, someone needs to put their slides up so that we can see you.
We will share that right now. Yep. Just in case, is it okay if we go like 20 seconds over?
Don't worry about it. I've been liberal, so
Okay.
and don't
Thank you.
don't rush your words so fast that you trip over them. So
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna start sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. And let us know when you're ready. Yeah.
Okay, you can go.
Today, millions of seniors struggle with daily tasks. Millions of people want to volunteer but have no clue where to start. Imagine an app that could connect them. That's why we created Oasis. Good morning, judges. I'm Avisha.
I'm Shrikra.
I'm Anahi. I'm Radhima.
I'm Anvi, and we are Team Asura, which is not only a combination of our initials, but in many Indian languages means help and support.
We created the app Oasis, which combines help, safety, and health in one simple interface for seniors and volunteers. To start off, the National Institute of Health states that nearly 46% of seniors in the United States struggle with daily tasks. Additionally, we have noticed in our family how much our grandparents are struggling with technology. We want to solve this issue in order for them to live a more comfortable and efficient lifestyle.
We sent out survey forms to people in our community. Our senior response surveys showed that 93.3% of seniors showed interest in using an app designed for them. Volunteer surveys also showed similar results. 60% of our respondents also stated that they have a fear of being scammed, and 46.7% of them stated they have issues with remembering things, such as passwords and websites.
Oasis is the solution for most of these problems. Our main feature is the Community Help Network. Seniors can request for daily help for daily tasks, and volunteers nearby can step in to support them. We also have a reminders feature. It tracks everything from doctor's appointments to medications.
We also implemented Oasis AI, which allows seniors to ask a trained AI assistant how to navigate the app or understand the functionalities. We made the app accessible with extra large text, voice commands, and speech to text for anyone with vision or hearing difficulties. After logging in, both seniors and volunteers can create and edit their profiles easily. Additionally, we implemented a notifications feature to improve communication. Seniors can track the requests they've made, and volunteers can view the requests that they've accepted. While many apps on the market offer single-hand solutions, they often create a difficult experience for the user. For instance, competitors like Life360 focus mainly on location tracking, while MediSafe specializes strictly in medication management. Oasis provides a streamlined, all-in-one solution that has connection and safety, ensuring that technology serves as a bridge rather than a barrier. Initially, we built our app using MIT App Inventor, but we faced limitations with database functionality and screen management. So we transitioned to Thunkable in just the last few weeks before the submission deadline. This allowed us to fully implement our features and improve performance. However, switching last minute was a huge challenge. It required late nights spent working and daily meetings to communicate.
We received feedback from seniors, volunteers, and software engineers, such as setting age guidelines like 55 plus for seniors and 15 plus for volunteers to ensure appropriate participation. They also recommended limiting help requests to no more than 30 days so the app stays focused on short-term support. Geolocation tracking for both the volunteer and the senior within the period of the request was another popular suggestion.
Implementing most of these user recommendations is something that we plan to do in the future, so more people can feel comfortable while using our app. We're also planning to add mental simulation games to help seniors with Alzheimer's. This was a part of our initial ideas, but we couldn't implement it due to time constraints. Mandatory background checks for volunteers and seniors to ensure community safety is our next big step.
At the end of the day, technology should include everyone. Imagine a world where seniors will continue to feel confident and empowered for years to come. With our app, we aren't just providing this world, we're giving them an oasis. Thank you. Please let us know if you have any questions.
Great job, girls, and right on 4 minutes. So you did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, we
Now,
are ready for any questions.
okay. First question from the judges, feedback?
Yeah, I can go first. This is an amazing project, right? Because this is one of the biggest concerns for seniors, and helping them with volunteers is an excellent problem solving. My question is, I think you touched on this point already, but if you can expand that a little bit. So the volunteers are less than 18 years old. In the bucket, they would fall in that bucket. And they are doing this as part of their community service. What are your thoughts on the community safety aspects, since the ones that are involving could be less than 18? Do you have any thoughts about it?
So I can answer this question. We've noticed that a lot of high schoolers, these people really need volunteering hours, which is why helping seniors is a great way to get those volunteering hours in, which is why we set that age limit to 15 plus. So then high schoolers can also have the opportunity that older people will have.
Additionally, to add on, one of our biggest future plans is to implement more mandatory background checks to make sure our platform is incredibly safe and that everybody using it will not be at risk of any harm. So that is our next step to make sure that everybody is safe and yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to add on to the last question with a comment, because I am a senior and I was also a parent with children who needed to complete their volunteer hours. So I understand both sides of this situation, and I also would have a security issue. I think in my comments I mentioned that background checks are very expensive to do, even the cheapest one. However, I think if you have seniors or high school children that need to fulfill hours, you can expand the app to include messages to the parent and the child, since I always needed to be present whenever my child was doing the volunteer hours, making sure that the parent knew what the child was signing up for, and that a parent would always be available during the volunteer hours might be a good way to make the progression to a larger background check. I also had a thought that I loved your problem solving with this application, but applications tend to keep people on their phones. And I thought another addition to your app, as a suggestion, obviously you don't have to do this, would be to open up to a community and be able to find other seniors in their community that could possibly help. Like, I'm a senior, but I'm also pretty active, so I could actually volunteer and go help another senior and make a friend. So
Absolutely. That is a great suggestion. I actually love that a lot because that will also like build a lot of community too. So that is definitely something that we will be looking into in the future. Thank you so much for that suggestion.
Yeah.
I'll go next. Big kudos to your presentation and I think your professionalism and your presentation skills like really stood out to me. And you all are even wearing matching outfits.
Yeah.
And then I love your name, the Asara, and having a deeper meaning. I did have a question. You guys touched on it throughout your project, but there's a big emphasis on how seniors can struggle with technology. This is ultimately still an app that goes on your phone. What about your app is more user-friendly to seniors, and can you dive into that deeper?
Yeah, so I can answer this question. Basically, we have users. What we did is we provided many features in our app that can make it easier for seniors, such as big fonts, and then we have an AI chatbot that allows seniors to ask questions about our app, and then the AI chatbot will give a simple and quick response to help the seniors navigate the app really easily.
So adding on to that, the reason why this is better in terms of technology is because other apps, which we mentioned earlier, such as MediSafe and a few others, these apps only have certain features, such as MediSafe only has medication trackers. Oasis has all of these features combined into one. So these different features that these seniors might need in different platforms that kind of make it hard to access, and it's all in one platform, which makes it easier on their phones and in their everyday lives, which is what we're trying to get at.
Okay, and I thought I saw that you guys also have like voice. They can make the request by voice.
Yes.
Okay.
We get
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can go next. Really excellent job with your presentation. Clearly there was a lot of hard work that went into this, and it's also a super ambitious app, which I really respect. You know, like you're incorporating a lot of different things into it, and that's super cool. So with all of this hard work and everything, I'm curious what a few of you would take away as like your biggest learning or skill that you're coming away with from doing this application.
I can go first actually. So in my time in Technovation, this is my perspective. A lot of things that I've learned while doing this is especially collaboration. A challenge that we've had is that we all don't live very close by. So a lot of our communication was supposed to be is online, which is why something that I've learned, and I'm sure a lot of my teammates have, is that keeping track of what each other is doing, such as we communicated on Google Chat, where we were always on there checking to see what our tasks look like what's the progress on that, what are our plans for the future, when can we meet up to discuss our plans for the app. So that is something that I think that a lot of us have learned, which is collaboration when we don't all live super close by.
Also, another important thing to add on to that was a lot, like in our actual app, like in Thunkable, when we were coding our app, we faced limitations because when many people were working on the same page, the app constantly refreshed. So that's why another thing we learned from that is we split the app into different parts and then merged the code later. So that's another thing we learned, that we have to work separately and also combine our parts.
Yeah, I think we can all maybe share something about what we learned from Technovation. I learned a lot about coding actually, because I didn't do too much coding back then, but right now I learned so much from like how to code and then like using different blocks, and I think that's something that I'll take away from this forever.
Yeah, I also exactly like what Dima said. I learned a lot of coding. I also understand like the importance of like teamwork and how to communicate through that, because I feel like tech innovation gave me like the opportunity to see like how to properly communicate with all your teammates.
Yeah, something I took away from this is like this is my second year of Technovation actually, but what I learned from this is that I learned new collaboration skills and I built like stronger connections, and I also developed more like proper speaking skills when we were working on our pitch as well.
Yeah.
And I also improvised on like my coding skills because block coding is a new thing to me, although like I learned Python before. So
That's amazing.
all in all, not only were we able to really work on a problem that we all cared about, because this was seniors having trouble with their daily tasks, was something that we all saw in our grandparents. So not only did we get the opportunity to work on something that we really cared about, but we also made a community with each other, and we were really able to become so close with each other. And I think that this friendship is something that I'm going to really value throughout my next couple of years of high school. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's really great. I really appreciate all of you sharing, and I know those skills are definitely going to serve you well later in life too.
For sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bettina?
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much answered my question. I was very curious about, I know there were some, collaboration was a big learning for them. And I just think everything came out so polished. Your materials are so well thought out, your presentation, the app itself and how it functions. So that was my question is like, how did you all come together, split up tasks? Also, when you had to make a change by using Thunkable, how did you work through that? And it's just really cool. That's what I was looking for was what you all just shared just now. And I think all those skills, those will definitely, uh, take you a long way. And that's great to learn and great to hear and just see how cohesive and how collaborative you all have been as a team. So
Yeah.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
Great job, team Asara.
Yeah.
I appreciate your hard work and really enjoyed your pitch. Actually, I saw it before, and you did a really good job this time too. Probably, and you did it in the time frame. So, thank you very much. And you can leave the room now, and we'll hopefully the next group will be here now. We'll see if they're all here.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Sven, you're on there. Oh, you're all together. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's like you're there twice, but
Yeah, I can.
so there's someone in the waiting room named Ganesh. Is that someone any of you know?
No.
Okay. And there's 4 girls on the team. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're all here. And thank you for coming. This is Team the Pod Squad. If you want to put your slides on the screen, share your slides.
Yep.
We're working.
Oh.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
All right. Okay, we're no echo now. So yeah, don't turn the sound on the other one.
Okay.
Hold on one second. It's we'll be right back. We have to fix our settings to get it to let me share the screen or share the screen here.
Sure. Guess he's coming back. You're the last group, so we have a few extra minutes at the end. Just for those on the live screen, don't forget, and team and judges, don't forget we have a big event tomorrow at the Great Hall at Silverwood Park. And from 2:30 to 5:30, there'll be lots of activities, fun activities. I think some of you girls have been to that before, so I know you can endorse the funness of our day tomorrow. And then for any of you girls who are interested, we have and anyone else on the live stream or anyone with kids, we have a Innovate for Good hackathon at the Zanewood Recreation Center in Brooklyn Park, June 27th from 9 to 3:30, and you can register on the Code Savvy website. So here we go with
All right. I think they're ready. Sorry for that delay.
That's okay. This will be timed. You will have 4 minutes, and I will set the screen so you're okay. So team, speak up.
Okay. Hey,
Hello, we are the Pod Squad. My name's Lucy.
my name is Lila.
My name is Eliza.
My name is Soraya. Our problem is that middle schoolers with ADHD lack executive functioning skills, specifically organization and planning. We noticed this was a problem when a class was added to our school that helped students with executive functioning skills. We wanted to create an app that was easy to use and included multiple executive functioning skills, unlike others. This brings us to our solution. Our solution was a study timer, which is in style of a Pomodoro timer. This helps users stay productive and remain on task. This helps users. Oh, okay. The goal creator is made to help teach users how to create a SMART goal.
If you're wondering what a SMART goal is an acronym to remember how to set a good goal that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. In our app, we incorporate all of these components.
The technology we used for our app PodPal was MIT App Inventor. We did not use any AI to code our app, but our app includes an AI chatbot feature which helps users guide you through the app. We also had help from our mentor, Sven.
We were able to test our app with 3 main users. Tracy and Peyton are both students with ADHD, and Miss France is a teacher who both works with students with ADHD and has ADHD herself. Most of our user outreach happened before we even started coding, so by the end of development, when we were going back to do user iteration, a lot of the feedback we received was pretty small or positive. The main feedback we received was to change the font from Peyton, so we made the font more engaging. However, in the beginning of development, before we even started coding, when we reached out to them, Tracy said to keep it simple and Miss Friend said to make sure it was engaging. The way we included engagement was by hiring a local artist to do some art that we could include in our app. This would make it a lot more exciting and engaging for users.
Our 3 main competitors include Timo, Trello, and Habitica. Timo has all the features that we include in our app. Trello helps with organization and Habitica with productivity. However, our app is better than these because ours is free, it teaches the user, and it is made by teens for teens.
We met with someone from Mathnasium, which is a tutoring center, to establish a relationship with the goal of getting feedback for our app PodPal. We hope to build a partnership with them in the future.
In the future, we would not only like to increase more partnerships we do with other businesses, but we would also add more features like a schedule view, which would allow users to see their tasks visually, more UI features, for example, confetti when you complete a task or some type of animation. We would also like to add social features like kudos, like Duolingo and Strava have for when you complete a task to add accountability and motivation. And we would also like to include a teams feature where a big group could work towards one goal.
Our app PodPal is unlike others on the market because it is free, it teaches the user, it's made by students for students.
Don't forget to grow your focus one pod at a time.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. You can you can drop your slides and we will open it up for questions from the judges.
Okay, and then just leave the call.
I can get us started. Hi, everyone. Great job with your presentation and great job with your application. It sounds like your app, or just from what I saw in your submission, there's a lot of features to your app, and then you also saw a lot of feedback in advance of developing your app. How did you decide which feature to start with, and then which one to save for later on during the development cycle?
I can take this one. Well, we have a pretty big team compared to what it could be. So we were able to split up a lot of tasks. So this year we decided not to work all on one thing at a time. So me and Lucy, I coded the goal creator while she was coding the study timer, for example. So the way we decided which ones to do first, we didn't really start with one specific one, but the way we decided to order them was by the level of which we thought was the most important. For example, we started with the goal creator because ultimately our app was supposed to teach users how to set goals and help them do that. And so that was definitely a core feature that we needed to include. So we decided to start with that one so we would definitely have it. And then as we as it got later in the season, we decided to start adding more that were less necessary for the core goal of our app, but that we still wanted to include. Does that answer your question?
It does, thank you. And cute sweatshirts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can go next. I just wanted to compliment you on two aspects of your project. And one of them is reaching out to Mathnasium to start building those community and business partnerships early on. Did you also reach out to Mathnasium to see what they thought of your project?
Yes, so when we originally met with a representative from Mathnasium, we kind of had two goals in mind. So we talked about like what they saw with students with ADHD and some of their engagement strategies. For example, we learned that they give their students game breaks if they do a certain amount of worksheets, and they have like challenges for the month. So they have like a challenge for the month of May that the students get to complete to motivate them. So we got some really helpful insights of just like engagement tactics. But then we also wanted to, of course, build that like business relationship and partnership so that in the future we can maybe incorporate a feature or include something in our app that would maybe help the students maybe get sent to Mathnasium if they struggled with math,
Oh,
or just
excellent.
that would be further down the line in the future.
Oh, good job. I also want to compliment you on reaching out to a third party for the artwork. Many businesses do exactly the same thing. So congratulations on thinking about that.
Yes. Thank you.
I can go next. So this is really great project, and you have focused on a very important problem, and you have provided a solution for that. My question is, how would you take care, or what are the guardrails that you have that students or children with ADHD, this usage of the app doesn't add more burden to them, as opposed to making this really as a way to help them, as opposed to them worrying about the deadlines and looking at it, should have a positive impact on them. So what are your thoughts around that, those guardrails?
I can take this one. Um, when we were designing the app, we were wanting to make it a fun environment. We definitely in the future would like to add more of like a reward system where you get like prizes and stuff and you can earn them. And even if you don't make the deadline, I think it would be still if you still did it, I still feel like we'd incorporate a reward for that too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add on to that. We use in our app, we use a lot of positive reinforcement, which, because like if they complete a goal on time, they're gonna get, well, in the future, we would like them to have like confetti or some type of animation. But if they don't complete a goal on time, we're not gonna like take off points or whatever. We're not gonna do anything like that. So we really just want it to be a positive environment. Similarly, during development, we had a whole meeting where we talked about, do we want this app to be more like just a tool that they can use to maybe like help them do a certain thing, or do we want this to teach them how to do this on their own in the future? And we ultimately decided that we wanted them to learn and eventually become independent of our app. And so that's why we included the educational components like the SMART goals. We have a whole screen on our app that teaches them how to set SMART goals. So our app really teaches them how to do it, and it's not really just a tool for them to complete goals.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can go. This has sort of been touched on with the first question, but I thought it was really interesting that you all did a lot of user testing before actually coding. And as far as it looks like you're using wireframes or maybe some designs. Can you talk a little bit more about maybe some pros and cons or some challenges, and maybe how that helped your process of testing before you actually started coding?
Yeah, I can take this one. We definitely struggled with finding people to reach out to due to like
things within our district, like not being allowed to like go that personal with other people. So that was kind of a struggle, but we would hope to like continue our research in the future with others.
And then also the reason we decided to reach out to users before we started coding is because I've done this program for 3 years, and every year we've done, I think it's called the Stanford Design Thinking process, where it's like empathize, ideate, whatever, all those. And so empathize starts way before you even start doing anything else. And so we've always wanted to reach out, and we really want to hone in on the problem because none of us actually have ADHD. So it would be really bad if we kind of coded this whole app and we were like, this is what we think people with ADHD need. And then we got to the end and we were like, oh, so you actually didn't need any of that. That was just us being really stupid because we didn't really know. And so we really like to reach out and make sure we're actually solving the right problem. But the one con to that was that in this competition specifically, there's a lot of like great, like there's a user adoption plan and like all that. And it was really hard for us to do that because we really reached out before. So we didn't have a lot of stuff to iterate on unless we went a lot deeper. And we didn't really have time to do that. And so it was just hard because of the rubric and what we were being graded on. That's the biggest struggle because they really grade on iteration, which we didn't really have a lot of.
I still think that was a great approach, and really like empathy for the user is really important, in technology. So
yeah, I agree.
Awesome job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm last. Amazing work, ladies. Love the sweatshirts, love the creativity. I also really want to second it's so impressive the way that you guys reached out to local artists, reached out to Mathnasium. Like that takes a lot of like courage and entrepreneurial spirit to do. So really great work there. I'm curious, I'm a little bit curious more about the design, and you guys talked a lot about making it more engaging, more interesting. What ways do you plan to use the pod, art and illustrations in your thing? Like, is there a role for each of the little like pod creatures, or how do they play into the app?
Yeah, I can take this one. I think in the future, something we'd like to add is for a reward, maybe adding different like accessories to your pod and like decorating, making it more personalized. I think that'd be a great idea.
Also, in in-app currency, we were talking about maybe using like edamame or something as an in-app currency for the user when they reach goals. But yeah, a lot of our design is obviously centered around that like green theme of like the beans and the pods. And so we wanted to have one like cohesive design, and we wanted to incorporate that in like as many aspects of our app as we could. And our artist can also design a lot of different things, and definitely have a lot of ideas in mind for what we could add.
That's awesome. Yeah, that'll be great for really establishing your brand and creating that recognition, having that consistency. So awesome work, ladies.
All right, thank
Great
you.
job. Great job. Excuse me, the Pod Squad. We appreciate your time. Thank you, judges. We appreciate your time also. You will have till 2:00 today if you want to update any scores. And I want to thank our live stream audience. We appreciate that you took the time to watch all of these teams do their presentations. And again, I want to remind you, the Great Hall at Silverwood tomorrow, 2:30 to 5:30. Lots of fun things from 2:30 to 4:30, and then the award ceremony at 5:30, where we will be awarding the top teams in each division for Technovation and our Spark Scholarship Awards. And one other thing, the Innovate for Good Hackathon is June 27th. You can find out more about it on our website, codesavvy.org. It's from 9 to 3:30. Again, I thank everybody on behalf of Code Savvy. This was our 11th Appapalooza, and we were so glad that you could be here and attend and participate. Thank you all, and that will be the end of our presentations, our live streams, and we will sign off now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.